Cedtv Ibeazor, and I am a growth marketing strategist. I help clients and I help business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, you name it. I help them to sell out their offers, especially on social media. And I also help them to own the room through public speaking.
TV channel.
Thank you so much.
All right. Big clients are hard to convince. They're hard to get into business and they're hard to keep. So I want to know, in your line of duty, what builds trust with big clients?
Trust with them is your integrity and your personality as well, and you being willing to bring everything to the table. So you see, when you're working with bigger clients, most of them are not looking for tips. They're not looking for strategies. What they are looking for is result and outcome. And if you're able to bring that result and outcome, then you would build that faster trust with them. And even when the results or outcome they are expecting is not coming in the volume that they're expecting it, it is also your job to make sure that you keep in contact with the client and go back and forth to be sure that their heart is still with you. Because these people are paying you huge money and they are paying for results. And so imagine someone paying you 500, 1 million to do something for them, but you're not bringing in the, the output that they are looking for. They're not bringing in any results they are looking for. Then it becomes, a bone of contention on whether they should continue to work with you or not. But if they see that you're doing what you ought to do, then that trust will always be there. So I would say 2 things that would help you to build trust with those clients is, number 1, be a person of integrity, willing to speak the truth. Is it working? Is it not working? Do you need to do something else to make it work? And then number 2 is you giving them that result that they are actually looking for. When somebody sees the results and sees, something positive in working with you, it makes them even more eager, and it kind of elevates their trust in wanting to continue working with you.
Okay, so there is no big mystery, no big trick, just integrity and results.
Yes, I believe that my integrity is a core value or a core vision for my brand. Anybody that wants to work with me, I want to make sure that you see that I'm a person of integrity. And by integrity, I don't even mean the big grammar of integrity. I mean you doing what you ought to do, because it's as simple as that. So if you're doing what you ought to do and you're giving me feedback when I ought to get it, you're not lying to me. You're putting me through the process. You're making me understand that, okay, look at what we're going to do. So I'm going to cite an example of this integrity thing I'm talking about, and also the results thing I'm talking about. I was speaking with a client that I just started working with recently on her social media. So she's a therapist based in the UK, and we started working together. She just reached out to me on referral. So we started working together, and then one of the days she reached out. She said, oh, I wanted to get some feedback on what we've been doing so far, and I see that we're doing something, but I want to hear from you as well. What are we doing? Is it working? Mind you, this is just our 2nd month of working together, and she's already expecting bigger results. Wow. But there's one thing I always tell clients if I'm working with them: I don't promise you heaven and earth. I'm going to be very honest with you, because that's part of the integrity I'm also talking about. I'm going to be very honest with you, and I'll put it straight to you, especially when it comes to social media marketing. It's not something that you can rush to say, oh, we're going to get a result for you in 30 days. That's not possible, except if you already have a big audience, then we're working with that big audience. But if we are struggling to grow your audience, you are expecting to have the same result as somebody that has 1 million followers, then it's not realistic. And I'll be a liar for me to egg you on and tell you, oh, it's possible. No, I'll be very honest with you. And so from the very get-go of our conversation, she knew that, this is going to be it. And so she was asking for feedback to see that, okay, are we even making any development at all? Are we seeing any changes at all? I said, oh, of course, yes, we are seeing. If you look at your page, you would see that we're making some nice moves. And see, I see that as well. And it makes me glad and settled. I'm just glad that you gave me the feedback. Now I know that, okay, this is the work I need to do. And this is the work that you also need to do on your own part. And that's just about it. So I would say integrity is a really key thing when it comes to building trust with people.
I have met clients in my line of duty who are confused about what they want.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm a developer. They want to give you a work, a project work that has to do with a lot of coding. They can combine 5 different ideas into one, and they are yet still confused on which way to go. So does it happen in your line of duty, and how do you figure out what clients really need?
Okay, what the client really needs.
Yes.
So in my line of work as a growth marketing strategist, the first thing I do before I start working with a client is to have a clarity call. That's what I call it. It's a clarity call, or you can call it a discovery call. And the purpose of that call is for us to have an interaction, because I need to hear from you. For me, I believe that sales is 80% listening and 20% asking questions. The person who talks the most loses. So if you learn to ask questions, then you can actually get what the person wants. And of course, there are also instances where you meet people that do not know how to communicate what they really want. But then because you are the expert and you are able to figure it out, you can actually read, the mind, not like reading the mind of the person, but being able to figure out if they are really saying exactly what they need or not. And where that comes in is also you doing your research. So I was saying that the first thing I do when I want to work with a client is, first of all, we have a clarity call. So in that clarity call, before we have that clarity call, the person must have reached out to me to say, I want to work with you. And I would have to get some kind of data to ask them, okay, what kind of business do you do? Because I need to be sure that we can actually work together. Because I can't promise to work with you if you're not within the niches that I work with, and then we are struggling in the future. I can't do that to myself or do that to you as well. And so I will do my own research. And the reason I'm doing my own research is so that when we get on our clarity call, I would know exactly what response to give to you and what questions to also ask you. Because then asking you those questions helps me to build, so I can give you, a well-rounded document at the end of the day that shows you this is what we are going to be doing, and this is what the deliverables are going to be, what you are expected to deliver, and what I am expected to also deliver as well. Letting you know that, okay, we both have our responsibilities. So in working with clients, you just need to be able to ask them questions to know what they want. If you ask questions, then you would know what the person wants. When you don't ask questions and you allow them do all the talking, they might just as well tell you all the stories of their life, and they would never be able to tell you the basic things that you need. So if you're going to be speaking with a client, have a series of questions for people who are in the creative industry, for example. Have a series of questions that you want to ask them. For example, what is your goal? I would say, okay, let me use my own field as an example. If I'm working with somebody that wants to grow their social media, I would ask them, for example, what kind of people do you want to attract? Who are your target audience? Do you have any offer that you sell? Maybe a physical product, a digital product, or do you plan to launch one in the future? The reason for all of those questions is so that I can know what I'm working with, and you would also know what results you are also expecting from me. So that's just about it. Ask questions, that's all.
Oh, okay. Do you normally or sometimes face tough questions from clients?
Tough questions.
Yes.
Like, give
The-
me more context.
Okay, I mean, when you've explained yourself, you've asked for clarity and the rest, but this person still they don't feel very convinced as such, and maybe they engage a lawyer, because I'm speaking out of experience myself.
Okay.
Someone was trying to buy some kind of shares. She has to throw tough questions. I met up with the questions. She engaged the lawyer to throw more questions. Have you met such clients before?
Okay. About throwing tough questions, I would say yes. To some extent, I have met clients who ask tough questions. I think I worked with one. She's a product consultant and she lives in Canada. And she believes that, people here in Nigeria, we don't really do too much. So it is people that are outside the country that know all the thing. And then she kept, every time she would always be asking tough questions. So when those tough questions come, because I am the expert, I'll give you my feedback. That's about it. So regardless of whatever tough questions that a person asks, if I have a response to that, I'll give you. If I do not have a response, I would say, let me get back to you. I don't have a response right now for you, right? Because that's just me. I can't cook up something and tell you because you're expecting an answer. But if I do have a response to the question that you've asked, then I go ahead to provide it. If not, I tell you, just give me a few minutes or, a day or two. Let me figure out what you're asking me, and then I'll give you a feedback.
Oh, okay. So I believe that in working with clients, you've won a lot of clients. You've won their hearts. So can you share a story about when you changed somebody's mind, convinced a client into getting into a project or a contract with you?
Okay. Sales is always about convincing people all the time. So I'm always in the business. Every day I'm convincing somebody. Even this morning I'm convincing somebody. So
I'm getting convinced myself. I mean, this is the whole project management session I'm getting for free. So what could it have cost if I consulted you? That's a lot. A lot.
consulted me, that would have cost you a lot.
Wow.
But then when it comes to getting what's it called? What was the question you asked me?
Changing somebody's
Changing
mind.
somebody's mind to work with me. Okay, I'm going to give you a tight example of a client that she lives in South Africa. She's Nigerian, but she lives in South Africa. And I used to work with her when I used to work at a digital marketing agency in Maryland, and then I left and started my own digital marketing agency. And so she left because she wanted to work with me as well. I didn't even know she was leaving. I was leaving. We both didn't know we were leaving. And then she suddenly figured out, oh, you're leaving and you didn't tell me, your favorite client. I said I didn't want to, do all of that. So after a while, because she already had her setbacks and her objections about continuing working with digital marketing agencies. Now, even though she knew me, I needed to still convince her that I can give her a good result. And so what happened was that she came down to Lagos, and I was in Anambra State, of course, and she said, okay, can we meet up in Lagos? I said, okay, that's fine, not a problem. I'm going to come to Lagos soon. Is one of the things that really started to convince her that I was serious about working with her or helping her to get results. And then we met up, and I already prepared a slide. I already prepared everything because I know she's a numbers person. I know she's somebody that likes to see the facts, the figures, show me what are we going to be doing. And so I prepared all of that, took out my time. It was as if I was going to pitch for a project. So I got there, we had our conversation, and I did all of the convincing. I can't go into details of the words I used, but of course, the convincing is more like telling her, yeah, this is what you want to do, right? We're going to do it. We're going to need at least 6 months, and we're going to get a good result. And part of the convincing also, because I know she has always wanted to launch a digital product, sort of like an executive leadership membership, program for her executive leaders who are C-suites and all of that. I knew she had always wanted to do that, and that was my ticket to winning her heart. The moment I presented all of those things, telling her, this is how we're going to make you money, she believed. That was it. And we started working together. And every single day of my life working with her is still also part of convincing her. So from her being at 2,000 followers, we grew her page to 13,000 followers.
Wow.
And she was just mad blown. Like she wasn't expecting it. We had 14 now, and it's as if every day we're growing. And she's like, what did you do to my page? Did you buy the followers? I said, I didn't buy it. I told you we are going to grow. And that's exactly what I'm doing for you. And not just that, I also helped her to make $5,000, for her program. Just her first launch, she made $5,000 with just 10 people in attendance. So that's something that, convinced her even more. And now, if you tell her that Precious is not working, you are lying. Even her husband is also even convinced, like, oh, I want to meet this Precious. So that's just it. When you want to convince people, you'd have to give them concrete reasons and values to show that there's a reason for them to actually work with you.
Get something straight. Do you have smaller clients?
I do.
You do?
Of course.
Okay, so how do you blend it? I mean, if you have bigger clients and they make bigger payments, how do you manage to combine? Because somebody like me, whenever the bigger clients come, the smaller projects, I have to stop them. So how do you manage to blend the both, serve both big and small?
And small clients. Every client is a client. I don't see them as big or small. I see them as people that come to me with a problem, and I have to solve it for them. And so, of course, when somebody that is paying you a higher ticket payment, is making a higher ticket payment, because in marketing we have like maybe lower ticket, you have middle ticket, you have higher ticket. For me, I don't see the tickets. I don't see the money you're paying me. Do
you deliver the same quality?
I deliver the same quality to everybody.
Okay, so there's no Chinese job.
There's no Chinese job in what I'm doing. Okay. It is quality for every single person, because even the person you call a small client that came to you could become a big client in the future. But imagine if you didn't do something good for them, then they would never be able to upgrade to becoming a bigger client. Now, for somebody like me who is also a marketing educator. It means that I run classes, online classes. I have one ongoing right now, and the cheapest I'm running my classes is like 15,000 naira. That's a low ticket, like the small clients, right? But I still show up because I need feedback from those people. I need their testimonial to also boost my personal brand as well. I need to hear what they are saying about me so that I can see what the bigger clients are saying about me as well. And of course, in selling to those people, if somebody buys from you for the first time, there is 100% chance that they can buy from you for the second time. And so even when the person came in through a low ticket product, I still upsell my high ticket, products to them to say, now that you're here, you've seen the value I delivered to you, I think it's time for you to upgrade. And most people would always upgrade to say, yeah, I'm going to get the next program. I'm going for your higher ticket. Because if this small one is just like this, imagine what the bigger one is going to look like.
People coming up on social media to make some claims.
Yeah.
They're into digital marketing and the rest. So I want to know, how do you stay ahead of others in sales?
Authenticity.
Okay.
That's the word. I think that's what summarizes everything. Authenticity. Now, what I mean by authenticity is, what does your personal brand represent? And how do you also show up with that thing that it represents? Now, there are so many digital marketing strategies. There are so many people that can bring results for other people. But the reason why somebody will choose to work with you is because it is you. And it is because also of the results that they believe that you can help them to get. And so for me, the way that I stay ahead of others, I believe, is simply showing up as my authentic self and also showing up with value. I see people in my DM all the time tell me, oh, that post you made that went viral, it really helped my life. Oh, thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for that. Oh, I saw your post on digital marketing. I want to work with you. Or I saw your post on public speaking. I want to work with you. So the thing is that most people do not realize that when you're making certain posts on Facebook, you're not just posting. You are creating a narrative. So the question is, what narrative are you creating about your personal brand that would make somebody to say, I want to work with Precious? Now, I'm going to give you like a real story that happened recently, like most recently, of a client that came to me. I made a post about how lecturers and educators can make money, with their lecturing skills and all of that. And I gave like a whole detailed masterclass for free. It was just a post. I wanted to make it. It came to my heart heavy. I said, okay, fine, let me just share it. So one of the persons that read my post, there are 1,000 of them in my DM. I'm not exaggerating. But one of them came to me straightforward. She said, Precious, I saw your post. I want to work with you. I really desperately want to work with you. Your post just gave me an understanding that I can make money from my PhD and I can make money as a PhD holder and all of that. And we started working together. We worked for 4 weeks. She paid for a 4 weeks coaching session, and we worked for 4 weeks, and she started seeing the result from her own end as well. So staying ahead is being authentic, one, showing up, number two, and creating a narrative that you want other people to see. If that narrative is positive, people will want to work with you. If it's negative, then people will want to shy away from you. That's just it.
Okay, so share stories to help your sales.
Yeah.
So how do they actually help in sales?
Stories, right?
Yes.
Okay. So stories are, I would say, they are emotional connection points. When I share a story, like you just asked me a previous question, right? And I shared a story with you. What was I trying to do? I was trying to draw an emotional connection to the point I already gave you. And so when I told you that story, you say, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense now that you see it being applied. Because when you keep talking about facts without any stories, it sounds a bit shallow. But when you tell stories, it is memorable. It builds an emotional connection with people. People can see themselves in that stories, because as human beings, we like to see ourselves in other people. And other people like to see themselves in us as well. That's just it. So when you tell stories, it builds emotional connections. Now, imagine that you're starting a business and you are somebody that, okay, yeah, I remember a particular story of this lady that started a brand. And the brand is about shaving cream for ladies. So what was her story? She said she's somebody that struggles. She has PCOS, that is polycystic ovarian syndrome, a hormonal imbalance. And because of that, she grows hair like a man. So she grows beards, she's very hairy and she doesn't like it. So she has tried every product in the market and none seems to be working for her. And she shares the story as she's going. Now, at first, when she was sharing the story, she wasn't really saying that she's going to produce a product or all of that. But after a while, she started leading people on to tell them, look, I've looked for every solution in the market and now I'm going to find my own solution that I can give other people that would also work for me as well as work for other people. That story is what sold out that lady's brand, just that particular story. So I always tell business owners, find a story that you can share. It can be story of somebody that you worked with. You tell story, oh, I worked with this person and okay, they didn't want to work with me at first, but after a while, I was able to change their heart. They started working with me and now I'm the best thing that happened to them after Walomo. So the same thing is, how did you even come about starting that particular business? You see people like TOE, Tony Elumelu, they share their stories. You see people like Femi Otedala and all the rest of them. That's why you think those guys share their story. It is because they know they can build an emotional connection with you by simply sharing that stories. Because stories are memorable. If you tell me a story, I won't forget it. But if you tell me a fact, I will likely forget it just leaving the door. But that particular story will keep on ringing in my heart. Oh, and every time I think about you, I'll think about that particular story that you tell me. So when people think about your brand, what story do they think about? Me, I tell my own story. I tell my story of how I started as a freelancer and now I'm working with bigger clients. And that particular story, it gives people hope. Oh, as a freelancer, I could possibly also go to the point where my personal brand can start to attract high ticket clients for me. So stories, they're just memorable and it builds emotional connection with other people.
Yeah, so it builds emotional connection with other people.
Exactly.
That's if they are powerful stories.
Powerful stories. It can't be any kind of story. There are so many kinds of stories to share. You have origin story, you have founder story, you have customer story, you have product story. I could go on and on, but there are so many stories to share that if you start sharing them, you would never run out of things to say and you would never stop at amazing people or even, just pegging yourself in their heart. That's it.
Okay. So my next question should be a bit on how you make clients want to act now. Okay. So, but I think from the things I've heard from you, if I'm given the chance, I want to act now. I want to get it. But let me know anyway.
Okay.
How do you make clients want to act now?
Okay. How we make clients to act now is speaking to their dramatic need. There's something called a dramatic need. Now, the dramatic need is a problem that is almost going to take away my finger. And if I don't solve that problem, I'm not going to sleep. It's a dramatic need. For example, a woman who wants to lose weight, that's not a dramatic need. She wants to lose weight. But the reason why she's not losing that weight is because it's not dramatic enough for her. And nobody is telling her how dramatic it will be. Now, imagine that woman goes to the hospital and the doctor tells her, if you don't lose weight, you are going to die in 7 days. What do you think would happen? She would find every means necessary to start losing that weight because it has now become a dramatic need. Remember, this same woman has always wanted to lose weight, but it was not really dramatic. There was really nothing going on. It's not affecting her health or anything. It's not affecting her movement. People love her. Nobody's body shaming her. She's comfortable. But the doctor tells her, you are overweight. And if you don't lose weight, you're going to lose your life. So choose your life or you lose the weight. Because this woman has kids, she has a husband, she's now thinking, if I die, which means another woman will come in and take care of my children and take my husband. And all of those things, instantly she's going to go and get a gym. She's going to get a fitness trainer. So that's the thing. So you have to speak to the dramatic need of that particular customer or the particular client. Like I already told you, the client that came from South Africa. The reason why she acted immediately and made payment and we started working together, even for all of my clients, I always find their dramatic need. When I'm speaking to you, that's why I say that sales, it's 80% asking questions and 20% listening. If you're not listening, you won't find the dramatic need of that person, let alone speaking to it. But if you're listening, then you would be able to grasp the pain points of that person and what their dramatic need is, and then you can speak fast to it and give them a solution and make them act immediately. And of
Dramatic
course, yeah, there are also times when you speak to people's dramatic needs, and because it's not something that is urgent for them, they don't take a step, and they'll still be there. They'll still be stuck. But 80% of people would likely take a step if you speak to their dramatic need or their pain point.
Okay, I think this has to do with the power of words,
It has to do with the power of words.
persuasion, and speaking where they have their needs, like you termed the dramatic needs. Now, I there is another method which I want to know whether it works too. What of offering free trials and what was it called, discounts and stuff? Do they actually work too?
Yeah, that's for people in the tech world,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You can offer. There are so many ways to make people act. Offering free trials also work as well. It works, definitely works, because if there is a new software in town and you're asking people to pay $20 or $50 for it, and they don't have the money, they've never tested that particular product, and so it's going to make them a bit drawn back because they already have another product that solve the same problem that you said you were about to solve. So what exactly is the reason why I should pick you over the one that I'm already using? And that's where you see people in the tech world will do something like free trials, or they would offer you a discount to say, or they would even say, this is something that this particular app does not have that we have. And they are building on that particular uniqueness that they have. If they don't want to slash the price, if you don't want to give a discount or a free trial, then you would have to do something that stands you out from your competitor, because I'm already working with your competitor. You're pulling me away from them. Why should I work with you? What makes you different from them? It could be that, oh, my competitor gives you this and I give you this plus this. So I'm giving you what my competitor will give to you, and I'm also giving you extra to what the person would give to you. And of course, you can also, have a free trial and see if it works for you. If you're able to get results in 7 days for free trial, I'm sure that you want to continue.
Okay, so there are valid methods too.
There are so many other methods to getting people to take actions.
I wanted to be on the safer side. Okay.
Of course.
All right. So now, the final question. So what's the key to success in big sales?
In big sales?
Yes.
Is there one key to success in big sales?
I think there should be one thing you can pinpoint and say, at least this is the peak. This is the
Okay, I think the basic foundation, and if you are looking for that big thing, I would say, what problem do you solve? Because sales is about solving people's problem. You bought this curtain because you wanted to cover this place and make it look good. You bought the light because you wanted to brighten up your space for your videos to look good. You bought the white shirt so it can stand out when you're recording. You're wearing the white shirt because you want to look good. I'm wearing my own because I want to look good. So that's the thing about selling, is that it's solving a problem for people. So the bigger the problem, the bigger the amount people will pay. The smaller the problem, the smaller the amount people will pay. So how big is the problem you're solving? How small is it? And how efficient are you in solving that particular problem as well? So is it giving people the kind of relief that they want? It's not just say, oh, I'm solving a problem. Is it giving me a relief, right? If it's giving me a relief, then I would want to work with you. If I'm not getting any relief, even though you're making big promises and all of that, then I'm not going to want to continue working with you. But the first thing is, what problem are you solving? Because that is what the foundation of sales is really all about. If you're solving a problem, then you're going to get attention.
You are solving a problem. You are going to get an attention. All right, that reminds me of a quote I saw a few days ago. They say attention is all you need.
Yes.
It's some Google scientists, they made publication, and the term attention is all you need. Yeah. So if you are solving a problem, you are going to get attention. All right. That was a nice time with you, and
Thank you so
we hope
much.
to have you more on our presentation.